guys, it's Amanda and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. Happy 2026. Today's video is going to be every single book I read in 2025. So today will be 2025, my year in books. Let's get right into it. So 2025 was actually the year of making my own reading journal. Not my own reading journal, meaning I made my own reading journal, basically. So I have been doing reading journals for a good, I would say 3 years now. Before I used my favorite, a Clockwork Reader reading journal. I'll leave that down below. When I watched her when I was younger, she was the one that really inspired me to be a booktuber. So that book means so much to me. So I think I got about 2 years out of that. This year, last year, 2025, I wanted to try to do my own. So meaning I kind of like did my whole making of a journal. This is just a plain dot grid journal and I made a cover for it. The artwork is not mine, but it's one I so much adore, and that is a beautiful picture of Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and it just says reading journal. So let's get started with the stats of this year. The reading stats that I get every year is from GoodReads. I use GoodReads. My GoodReads is linked down below as well. So this year, 2025, my year in books, I read a total of 7,047 pages and a total of 35 books read. The shortest book I read was Flower Fairies of the Spring, which was 48 pages. The longest book I read was The Creative Act, A Way of Being, which was 406 pages. My average book length in 2025 was about 201 pages. The most shelved book, of course, is The Great Gatsby, and the least shelved book was the classic Christmas poems. The average rating for 2025 was a 3.5. I do feel like 2025 wasn't the best reading year with, I would say, ratings. I found myself giving a lot of books 3 stars. I felt a little like disappointed with that, but like when I give a book 3 stars, it's not like it's a bad book, it's just, it wasn't amazing or something, which I'll get into my rating system in a little bit. The highest rated book on GoodReads is, of course, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour book. And my first review of the year, I really don't do reviews on GoodReads a lot. Sometimes if I'm just like in the moment going to write something, I'll do that, but I really don't do it a lot. So my first and only review this year was for The Creative Act, A Way of Being, and I just put, reading this felt like being in one long meditation. So those are all the stats from GoodReads. Now let's get into my actual reading journal. So opening it up here, I have my title page, which again, I love. Not my art, but I just found some pretty artwork on Pinterest. Most of the artwork and things in this book are from Pinterest and or my huge stationery stash. The first page here kind of really failed. I was trying to track every single book that I bought in 2025, and that died, I would say, about March, mid-March-ish. So then we go on to the cover spread. Again, another beautiful watercolor picture of Belle, and I kind of just made this whole spread, 2025 reading journal. Next is what I did for ticking off every single book. So my reading goal usually every single year is 30 books. So with this, I just made 30 boxes, and every time I finished a book, I would color the box in. Next is, I think, pretty mainstream. I've seen this a lot in other people's reading journals. This is the whole bookshelf area where you color in the book and write in whatever book it is you read. Again, I only put 30 books on the shelves because I wasn't planning on reading more than 30, but I did. Then the next spread is my reference page. So what I mean by all of my star ratings. So a 5 is absolutely loved. It is a new favorite. 4 is loved and I highly recommend this book, but it wasn't like a huge new favorite. 3 is just all right, not a favorite. 2, I didn't like this. 1, I put loathe entirely, because sometimes there are some of those books. Next up, I have wrap-ups by season. So with this, I just put a recap of all the books I read in that season, and I did a whole best book of 2025 bracket. Now, I understand that book brackets are never correct, as a bracket should be. And then the next page, I just always put a pretty page and I put a quote. The quote here is from The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods, and that is, "The thing about books is that they help you to imagine a life bigger and better than you could ever dream of." And then we start with every single book I've read this year, so let's get started. The first two books were just cute little reads that I just love to read, are the little golden books of the Wicked characters. So the first one I read was I Am Glinda by Mary Man Kong. My favorite quote from this was just, "Prince Fiero is handsome and perfect." I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. It was very cute and I love the gorgeous illustrations. And then the next book is I Am Elphaba, again by Mary Man Kong. The favorite quote from this is, "It was time for me to defy gravity." I gave this another 3 stars. The thoughts on this, it was a very cute, I wrote the same thing. It was very cute and I loved the gorgeous illustrations. Now, the next book was Life Short, Talk Fast by Anne Hood. This is a book of 15 writers on why we can't stop watching Gilmore Girls. So this book is literally 15 different essays about writers' experiences with Gilmore Girls and how Gilmore Girls, the show, has changed their lives in some way. And I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. The favorite quote from this was, "Reading had propelled me forward. Reading was not only my habit, it had suddenly become my badge of honor. For the rest of my youth and into my adulthood, it was something I nursed, maybe even wielded as self-definition. I didn't just read, I was a reader." This essay was towards the end and it was all about Rory being a reader and how that really changed this person's life. Thoughts on this, I just put wow, just wow, an absolute perfect read for every Gilmore Girls fan. Each essay was even better than the last. I cried, I laughed, and I felt like I lived in Stars Hollow for a few days. This should go on the Rory Gilmore reading challenge. The next book we have here is a very weird one, but I absolutely loved it, and that is Bunny by Mona Awad. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This book is just some wacky weird shit. It's about a group of girls and shit goes down. It's somewhat like the show Yellow Jackets, but if Yellow Jackets was taking place in a prep school all about writing and bunnies. The quote here is, "I've never really not written, never not had another world of my own making to escape to, never known how to be in this world without most of my soul dreaming up and living in another." My thoughts for this, I literally just wrote, what the f***? This was the exact messed up story I needed. The vibes, the prose, the gore, perfection. My mind is blown. This book is like being in a fever dream while you're drugged on bunny pills. And if you know, you know. Next here is the Eras Tour book by the beautiful Taylor Swift. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this, she said this in the Eras Tour, their first Eras Tour movie that came out. People would come up to me and they'd say, "Are you just gonna do a show with all the albums in it?" And I was like, yeah. It's gonna be called the Eras Tour. See you there. My thoughts on this was, well, it took me 18 years to finally become a Swiftie, and I am very proud I am. I was pulled in not even a month ago from Torture Poets Department. The album spoke to me in ways I can't even explain. Taylor was always in the background of my life, and I am just now cranking up the volume. This book was a must, such a gorgeous piece of art. This book actually is my mother's, and I stole it from her for a couple days when I went and looked through it and read it. So I have my mother to thank for pulling me into this cult we're in. Next up is the third and final book in the Emily Wilde series, and that was Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. I did a whole video of my critique on this series last year. I'll leave that up above. I gave this a 4 to 5 stars. Favorite quote from this was, "I have learned there is no one thing a person never tires of, no matter how long they live, and that is being in love. All else is ash and ember." My thoughts for this was a wonderful end to a wonderful series. This was by far the best one out of the series. I loved Emily and Wendell's relationship growth and their dynamic. My favorite part was the ending with Shadow and the wedding scene. I am very pleased and grateful for this series. Next up is a book I had to read for school, but this is Make Your Bed by William H. McRaven. I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars. So this is Make Your Bed, little things that can change your life and maybe the world. My favorite quote from this was, "If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have it accomplish the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride and will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. By the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. My thoughts for this was an inspiring account of the retired U.S. Navy SEAL and his challenges and accomplishments through his training, a required read for school. I wrote that down. Next up is the infamous, the astounding, the possible best book in the whole world, and that is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I was broken by the end of this. I did not think I was going to love it that much. I made an entire whole video about this and about Sylvia Plath, so I will leave that up above again. But for the favorite quote, I technically put 2. The entire fig tree analogy, of course. Then, to the person in the bell jar, blank and stopped as a dead baby. The world itself is a bad dream. Then another quote I love is, I took a deep breath and I listened to the old brag of my heart. I am. So I feel for this beautifully tragic woman, both Esther and Sylvia. I find this whole story, the real and fictional, so moving and hauntingly exceptional. I am forever haunted by this fig tree and the bell jar. Next up is kind of a controversial one, but that is The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Now, I only supported this author by buying a copy of the Graveyard Book because the Graveyard Book was one of like my childhood books. My singing teacher gave me a copy when I was really, really young, and I just always remembered it. I don't remember ever reading it fully, so to heal my inner child, I wanted to, yes, get another copy and read it fully. Unfortunately, I did get this during the time of when things kind of came out about Neil Gaiman. I didn't want to buy the copy, but I couldn't find my original copy, so sadly I did. I believe in separating the art from the artist. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this is, kiss a lover, dance a measure, find your name and buried treasure. Face your life, its pain, its pleasure, leave no path untaken. Thoughts were, reading this was like walking down memory lane and finding a couple of graves along the way. This is the book that started my love for graveyards and all things strange and unusual. Rereading this was a very fun and enlightening journey. Next up, of course, I read this in April, and that is The Enchanted April by Elizabeth von Arnim. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, all the radiance of April in Italy lay gathered together at her feet. She stared, such beauty, and she there to see it. Such beauty, and she alive to feel it. Her face was bathed in light. My thoughts for this, a great, easy read with beautiful imagery and funny moments. Had some similar vibes to Jane Austen. I listened to this on audio and I really loved escaping to Italy in April while I organized my books. Yeah, I listened to this whole book 2 afternoons, just organizing my entire bookshelf, so that was a lot of fun. Next up, we have The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Looking back, I would like to change my rating. Originally, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I don't know what happened to me back then, but originally I gave it 3 stars. My favorite quote is the last lines of the book, and that is, so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. Thoughts on this? I listened to this on audiobook, and it didn't do it justice. I've since seen the Broadway show and the movies and love the story so much more. Yeah, I think that's why. I read it through audiobook, and I feel like that's why I didn't really get enough of it, and that's why I put the 3 stars. Next, I read Flower Fairies of the Spring. I love Flower Fairies. I love the Flower Fairies series and every single book that has been made. I love the art. I love the poems. It makes me so happy. So I gave that a 4 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote was, the world is very old, but year by year it groweth new again. When buds appear, the world is very old and sometimes sad, but when the daisies come, the world is glad. The world is very old, but every spring it groweth new again, and fairies sing. Reading this felt like a stepping back into my childhood and into a fairy realm. Next up, we have another Sylvia Plath book, and that is Ariel. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this is, dying is an art, like everything else. I do it exceptionally well. I do it so it feels like hell. I do it so it feels real. I guess you could say that I have a call. Again, Sylvia Plath and her writing. Sylvia Plath as a human being. My God. So Sylvia's words always haunt me for hours after I read them. Disturbingly beautiful, as always. Next, I was introduced to a new favorite poet this year. That is Anne Sexton, who was actually one of Sylvia's rivals, which I find it funny that I was reading both Sylvia Plath and Anne Sexton at the kind of same time. So I read the Death Note books. I gave this anthology a 3 to 5 stars. My favorite quote from that was, "I have a dream, mother. She sang for my thirst, mysterious songs of God, and I ate into my heart, violent and religious." This was my first taste of Anne Sexton's work, and I really liked it. I love the darkness of her poetry and prose. Reminds me a lot of Sylvia Plath, and yet it is so very different. Yeah, I know that Anne Sexton's work and Sylvia Plath's work have been compared. I know they would hate that. So then I read Love Poems, also by Anne Sexton. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from that was, "Being kissed on the back of the knee is a moth at the window screen." My thoughts for that one, I just put, "This woman punched me in the soul and never looked back." And then finally, I read Transformations, and I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. I loved this one because this Transformations was very fairy tale-esque. She took different fairy tales and kind of made them her own and twisted them. And I love twisted fairy tales so much. My favorite quote was, "And then I knew that the voice of the spirits had been let in, as intense as an epileptic aura, and that no longer would I sing alone." I loved the Brothers Grimm feel of this book. I love the twisted tales she spun with her words. Next, I read Fairy Poems. This is by many different authors. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, "Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand, for the world's more full of weeping than you could understand." Thoughts on this were, I have always believed in fairies, but these poems made me believe even more. And continuing on with the fairy theme here, I read Flower Fairies of the Summer. I gave that one a 3 out of 5 stars. "'Tis I whom children love the best. My wealth is all for them, for they each is set a glossy cup upon each sturdy stem." This is by the Buttercup Fairy. Reading this felt like stepping back into my childhood and into a fairy tale realm. So I wrote the same thing as what I wrote for the other Flower Fairies book. Next, we get into some more nonfiction books. First, we have The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, "All that matters is that you are making something you love, to the best of your ability, here and now." I wrote the same review I wrote on GoodReads, and I put, "Reading this felt like being in one big, long meditation." So The Creative Act is Rick Rubin's take on creativity and being an artist, and how the word artist takes on many, many different forms. An artist of physical medium with paint or anything like that, or being an artist like being a poet, a writer, or for me, an actress, a singer, kind of takes on every single role of an artist and how he thinks artists should be and should live and should look at the world. And it was deep. It was really deep, and it was really something. Next is one of my favorite books of the year, and that is Negotiating with the Dead by Margaret Atwood. This is a writer on writing, so this was one of her memoirs about writing and how she writes and her writing style. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, "Possibly then, writing has to do with darkness and a desire or perhaps a compulsion to enter it, and, with luck, to illuminate it, and to bring something back out to the light. The written word is so much like evidence, like something that can be used against you later." My thoughts on this was, I absolutely loved reading this. It gave me so much inspiration, and it came at the right time. I needed it. I had no words. I did not want it to end. I was dead after it, which makes sense for it being called Negotiating with the Dead. Next, we have The Story She Left Behind by Patty Callahan Henry. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I adored this book. It is about 3 generations of women, a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter. I love stories like that they make me so happy and they mean so much to me. The Story She Left Behind, we're following our main character. Her mother disappeared when she was very young and left her daughter to survive on her own. Her mother was an author, a children's book author, and she left her final novel to her, but it's only written in a language that she created, so she leaves the story and a dictionary for her daughter to try and write the book that she left behind, the story she left behind. So my favorite quote from this is that dreams are so much more than that. They are visions of the future. They are whispers of our desires. They are hope. We cannot and we must not live without dreams, Clara. My thoughts on this was a sweet and cozy book about the power of storytelling and the love between women. I loved the romance in this as well. Such a beautiful read. Next up, we have, again, more Sylvia Plath. This was just the Plath poems of Everyman's Library Pocket Poets edition. So this I gave 4 to 5 stars. My favorite quote was, "Beware, beware, out of ash I rise with my red hair, and I eat men like air." And that is from Lady Lazarus. I thought this was a very well curated list of poems from one of the best female poets of our time. The next one was a very big surprise for me, and that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Normally, I hate contemporary novels. I hate contemporary romance. I don't like reading about present day. When I read, I want to escape the world, so I don't want to read about the current world. However, this is about 2 writers falling in love. That's why I read it. My favorite quote is now famous, and it is, "I feel overwhelmed that you exist." And my thoughts for this, my standards for men just went up so far. Thanks a lot, Emily Henry. Oh my god. I was very, very surprised that I actually really enjoyed this book. Next is The Colossus by Sylvia Plath. I gave this a 3 to 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, "30 years now I have labored to dredge the silt from your throat." I liked The Colossus, but I did not love the other poems as much as I have in other collections. So I liked the actual poem, The Colossus, but I didn't really love all the other poems that were in this collection. Next up, we have Taylor Swift by the Book. I gave this book a 4 to 5 stars. So this book is all the literature behind the lyrics, from fairy tales to tortured poets. So it is taking all the different lyrics that Taylor Swift has used and how each one has come back to either fairy tales and to different authors and using different themes that are in classic literature, and I devoured this. My favorite quote is one of my favorite lyrics of Taylor Swift's, and that is it romantic how all my elegies eulogize me?" Thoughts on this? Taylor Swift is a poet, a literature goddess. I loved dissecting all her work with my librarian glasses on. Next is a contemporary poetry collection, and that is A Bit Much by Lindsay Rush. I gave this a 3 to 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, if it hurts your stomach, it will hurt your heart. You can't temper a storm, but you can sure as hell evacuate the beach." That was from the poem Code Red. This was a fun and quirky poetry book with relatable themes. Loved the feminist aspects. The writing was good, but it didn't wow me. It was an enjoyable, quick read. Next on our list, we have The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I watched the series when I was younger, and that's all my knowledge was, and wow, was I wrong. I read the book, and the book and the series are completely different. The book is always better. My favorite quote from this was, "Don't do it," Eleanor told the girl. "Insist on your cup of stars. Once they have trapped you into being like everyone else, you will never see your cup of stars again. Don't do it." I did not expect to love this book as much as I did. While reading, I felt like I was slowly going insane alongside Eleanor. I loved the writing and the weirdly beautiful prose. I did not want to look away. All I wanted was to be inside Hill House. Next book, it was a required read, but this is a play, and this was Our Town by Thornton Wilder. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, "Oh, Earth, you're too wonderful for anybody to realize you. Do any human beings ever realize life while they live it? Every minute." This was from Emily, our main character. I really liked the themes of the play. I am playing Emily for my acting class, so I am doing a deep dive on her character. I loved the graveyard scene at the end. So yeah, we read 2 different plays. This was one of them, and then we did a scene from each play. And for Our Town, I was chosen to be Emily, and I really loved working with this and working as Emily and really getting to know her character, and it was a lot of fun. Next is I Am the Arrow. This is the life and art of Sylvia Plath in 6 poems. So basically, this author, Sarah Rudin, explains 6 different poems of Sylvia Plath's and like does a huge deep dive on each. So I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, "And I am the arrow, the dew that flies, suicidal at one, with the drive into the red eye, the cauldron of morning." I love the literary analysis of each poem and how everything somehow tied back to Sylvia's life. I will forever love Sylvia's work. The second play for my acting class that we read was John Proctor is the Villain by Kimberly Bellflower. Or I give this play 3 out of 5 stars. I really loved the concept. I love the concept, and I love, obviously, the Crucible. I was in the Crucible myself as Mary Warren, but for John Proctor, I was cast as Raylan. So getting to just be in the Crucible world again was fun, but also it was very overwhelming too. So my favorite quote from this was, "But that's what literature is for. That's what art is for, to make sense of moments like this one." Thoughts, I put The Crucible 2024 PTSD. I love the concept and the deeper meanings all throughout the play. I loved the dissection of The Crucible and just Arthur Miller as a playwright himself. And I love the fact that Kimberly asked Arthur Miller's daughter for the rights and like, "Can I make this play?" Completely shitting on your father basically and still be able to write this, and she said yes. And I absolutely love how that was done and how the Miller name is being changed for good. Next is Hour of the Pumpkin Queen by Megan Shepherd. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. My favorite quote from this was, "I am the pumpkin queen of Halloween Town. There is nothing more frightening than me." I thought it was very cute, perfect for my October soul. It felt very young and not that gripping, hence taking it longer to finish. Yeah, it took me forever to read this because I was just not wanting to go into this world anymore. It is young adult, and I think I am slowly, sadly growing out of young adult books, and that really saddens me, but I think that is definitely why I didn't enjoy it as much. Next we have She Followed the Moon Back to Herself by Amanda Lovelace. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. I've read her previous work and loved it. She tipped her head back and looked up at the moon, who drew her up to the sky and said, "Don't worry, just follow me. Try to keep in mind that she may not be the same as you left her, but she'll be exactly who you need." Thoughts for this was, I still love the writing of these poetry collections, but in this one I missed the fairy tale aspects of her previous collections. Next was another surprising read for me, and that is The Dead of Winter, Beware the Krampus and Other Wicked Christmas Creatures by Sarah Clegg. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I read this, obviously, in December, in November and December, and it was perfect. It was perfect for my dark little soul. Those who are gone, those who are leaving us, draw closer at Christmas, whether passing through in Perch's Hunt, attending the ghostly churches on Christmas Eve, or conjured by our memories, and we reach out to them. I loved how she wrote about the fact that our loved ones that have passed always come closer to us during Christmas time, and she talked about who she has lost in her life during the Christmas times and how hard and dark Christmas really actually is sometimes. I really felt seen by that. I really love the writing style of this book and how Sarah wrote her own story in along with the facts and folklore. Plus, I love Krampus. Next was the classic Christmas poems by various different poets. My favorite for this was, of course, Emily Dickinson's poem in this, and that is, "The Savior must have been a docile gentleman to come so far, so cold a night, for little fellow men the road to Bethlehem, since he and I were boys, has leveled, but for that 'twould be a rugged billion miles." These Christmas poems kept me company during the final days of the semester and helped me get into the Christmas spirit during a difficult time. And the final book I read in 2025 was, of course, a textbook. This was From Inquiry to Academic Writing. I gave this a 1 star. My favorite quote from this was, "Academic writing is a conversation," which I do agree with. I had to read this for my college comp class. I learned nothing from this book. I thought we were already supposed to know how to write an essay before college. And for the book bracket, the final book and the best book of 2025 is The Haunting of Hill House. It was between The Bell Jar, Negotiating with the Dead, and Haunting of Hill House, And out of those 3, I am still thinking of Hill House to this day, so I picked The Haunting of Hill House. That was best book of 2025. And those are all the books that I've read in 2025. I am very, very excited for the new year and the new year, new books. I'm very excited for everything that will be happening in 2026, and I'm very excited to start my new reading journal, which I will have a video for that coming out soon. And yeah, so if you guys have read any of the books on this list or have thoughts that you want to tell me about any of these books, do please comment that down below. And yeah, so if you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button, hit subscribe if you have not already, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time that I upload. I upload every single week. And if you want to find me anywhere else for more bookish content like this, you can find me on Instagram, GoodReads, Pinterest, and in between the pages of a book. And as always, remember to be the Captain Jack Sparrow of your story, and may your compass lead you to amazing things. And I'll see you in my next video, which will be the first vlog of 2026. See you!